Thank you for joining us for Game 2 of this doubleheader. This is between Lander University and Francis Marion University. FMU won the starting game 9-0 with the run rule after Lander could not even put a run up in the 5th inning. Taylor Flory, with 5 innings pitched, only gave up 3 hits. All but one player for the Patriots that took the plate had a hit, and Katie Smith with 2 hits, Hannah Schmidt with 2 hits, 3 RBI for Hannah Schmidt in the starting game. So the Patriots are looking to finish off their season on a bright note. Patriots now at 7-12 after the front-end victory over Lander. Lander is now at 2-15. Pitching for the Patriots is going to be number 11 in Rachel Davis. Rachel Davis comes in with a 2.97 ERA and a 5-6 record. First, some lineups here. Let's get you the Lander Bearcats lineup. Leading off, number 22, the right fielder, Kira Phoenix. Batting second, number 26, the center fielder, Shannon Antonini. Batting third, number 2, the shortstop, Delaney Guerrero. Batting fourth, number 29, the pitcher, Barbara Cook. Barbara Cook played third base in the first game. Batting fifth, number 19, the DP, Jordan Sykes. Batting sixth, number 30, the second baseman, Brycelyn Balser. Batting seventh, number 6, the catcher, Alana Fry. Batting eighth, number 32, the left fielder, Reagan Lunsford. Batting ninth, number 17, the first baseman, Madison Ackerman. And Barbara Cook will be pitching for Lander. So we're ready to go with Felix leading off for Lander against Rachel Davis on the bump. And there's the first pitch of the game. It is outside, so it is ball 1 early on to Felix with Rachel Davis pitching. Behind the plate is James Barrington with Brad Burden on first base and John Hibsch taking care of the duties at third.
Paul, Rachel Davis comes into today's second contest with a 5-6 record, 2.97 ERA. This is her 20th appearance, her 10th start of the season. She has 5 complete games, 68 1/3 innings pitched, 39 strikeouts, 16 walks, and opponents are batting .280 against her.
Felix is ready with the high wand. She's prepped against Rachel Davis. That pitch is high. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that the color commentary being provided to you is by the great sport information director for Francis Marion, a man who wears many hats and all hats in the same game, Michael Hawkins. Thanks for joining us, Michael, for this game.
Thanks, Paul. I was taking pictures during the game number 1.
One of many hats. And since we were talking, a foul by Felix. That foul was outside. The outside pitch from Davis fouled into the Patriots bullpen is the righty swinger in Felix. 2-1's the count. 2-2 make it. And a liner straight to the shortstop for the Patriots in Ashton Patterson for the first out of the ball game.
Patriot defense pretty much the same as it was for game number 1 with 2 exceptions. Smith is in left, Carrickson in center, Schmidt in right, Booker at third, Patterson at short, Matzel at second. Lauren Small with the freshman gets the start at first base here in game number 2. Harkins behind the plate, and as you've mentioned, Rachel Davis in the circle.
Antonini now for Lander takes the plate. Antonini shows bunt. The ball goes past her for a strike, and Antonini with the most threatening attempts in the first game. She was 1 for 3 in the game and also had a liner that was caught for an out, which otherwise would have at least been a single. So she was threatening at 2 for 3, instead 1 for 3 in game 1. Davis quickly out ahead of the threatening Antonini. 0-2's the count. And the pitcher, Rachel Davis, is hoping to get Antonini to wave at a ball that grounded its way to the plate. Instead, Antonini, with great discipline, lets that ball go by. 1-2 is the count.
Antonini is a sophomore out of Marietta, Georgia, and a graduate of Lassiter High School.
Davis grabs a little dirt. She wants to make sure that her grip on the pitch is true. She's ready to go. Hard hit from Antonini. Straight at the Patriots left fielder in Smith. Smith puts it out for the first out of the inning. Another great at-bat and great swing by Antonini. But again, right at a Patriots defender in that of Smith. So 2 outs to start things off here. Harkins goes out, motions to her defense as to what to do, and Guerrero is ready to step in with 2 outs in the top of the first.
And Paul, I don't know if you mentioned it during the first game, but if looking down the Lander roster, Guerrero, the only player she's listed as a graduate student, they have no seniors on their roster this year.
Youth reigns supreme for the Bearcats. And with that, a grounder to shortstop, and for the Patriots to Ashton Patterson. She handles it flawlessly, flips it across to Smallwood at first base for the 3rd out of the inning. Thank you for joining us on the Patriot Sports Network. As we head into the bottom of the first, there's no score.
The Swanfox Club is the fundraising arm of the Francis Marion University Athletic Department, and it supplies assistance to all 14 intercollegiate sports. On behalf of the student athletes at Francis Marion, I would like to thank all those who are members of the Swanfox Club for their support.
Thank you.
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 Let's get you the Patriots lineup. Batting first for the Patriots, number 15, the shortstop, Ashton Patterson. Batting second, number 7, the catcher, Sarah Harkins. Batting third, number 17, the center fielder, Danielle Carrickson. Batting fourth, number 10, the designated player, Sarah Hilton. Batting fifth, number 3, the second baseman, Megan Matzel. Batting sixth, number 2, the right fielder, Hannah Schmidt. Batting 7th, number 20, the first baseman, Lauren Smallwood. Batting 8th, number 4, the third baseman, Chase Booker. Batting 9th, number 14, the left fielder, Katie Smith. And as we showed you before, the starting pitcher for the Patriots was Rachel Davis. Starting pitching for Lander is going to be Barbara Cook, number 29.
Paul, Barbara Cook's numbers on the year: a 6-7 record, a 3.50 ERA. Her 21st appearance, her 13th start. She has 5 complete games, 2 saves, 84 innings pitched, 87 hits allowed, 62 strikeouts, 22 walks, and opponents are batting .259 against her this season.
Patterson with that open stance. She is ready to go. That pitch is down and just a little bit outside from Barbara Cook. 1 ball and no strike is the count to start things off for the Patriots here in the bottom of the first.
Lander's defense, Lunsford will be in left, Antonini in center. Felix has moved to right field. She played left in game number 1. They've made 1 change and swapped the DP and the third baseman already, so Sykes will be at third, Guerrero at short, Balser at second, Ackerman at first, Fry behind the plate, and Cook in the circle.
Wholesale changes for Lander, and can't blame Coach Glenn Crawford after they were run ruled with 9 runs against them, 9-0 the score after they finished their end of the 5th scoreless in the first game. One and 2 is the count. Barbara Cook quickly ahead of the leadoff hitter in Ashlyn Patterson. Patterson shows bunt. She's going to try to draw the first and third baseman in, and then she is hit by the pitch. Patterson shows bunt, and then she was hit by that pitch. That ball was up and in. I think the pitcher was defending against a bunt, but on that up and in pitch, it clipped her face mask and also a little bit of the collarbone. Patterson looks to be coming away from that one unscathed. So a runner on first base, the leadoff hitter for the Patriots.
Barbara Cook in the circle here in game number 2 for the Bearcats is a sophomore out of Tequesta, Florida, South Fork High School, and she transferred to Lander from the College of Central Florida.
And this is a carbon copy start from the Patriots so far if the call holds, but I think there is some debate as to if the runner is going to be allowed to be left on first base with the call as a hit by pitch. We'll have to see if Patterson is summoned back to the batter's box to continue her at bat.
Looked like first base umpire Brad Burden had signaled that she swung or made an attempt at the pitch. What Coach Valley has the girls do with 2 strikes is always hold the bat out there in a bunting position, I guess, to better time the pitch coming up, and then they'll always bring it back. Because, of course, if you bunt with 2 strikes and bunt it foul, it's a strikeout. So they have it out there to time it up. They pull it back, and as it rode in, yeah, her hips went around somewhat, but it rode in. It hit her. He may have even ruled that it was a foul ball off part of the bat, too. It's kind of tough because it's right directly in front of us here in the press box.
If that's right, that angle that we have to see Ashton Patterson at the plate, we couldn't fully see. Now, you could hear contact of ball to something solid, and I think what Coach Stacy Valley is arguing is that that ball hit the face mask, but rather did the first base umpire call that that ball first struck the bat and then the face mask or just the bat, but after which point there was physical contact with the ball to Ashton Patterson. The only question is that simply a strike and the at-bat continues, or is the hit by pitch what Coach Valley is asking for and discussing right now and making her case emphatically? I think this is going to be to no avail. I believe that considering the discussion that's being had, I think Ashton Patterson is going to be summoned back to the plate, and she's going to be asked to go back to hit. But hey, every once in a while the ovations of the coach can be changed, but usually not so much. And now we're going to get the confirmation that's going to be relayed to Glenn Crawford.
Now, the way it looks now, maybe she's going to be awarded first base, which, of course, I'm guessing he's not going to be terribly happy with. Nope, she's coming back to bat.
Yeah, and for Coach Crawford, Crawford was, I think out of courtesy, I think the umpires are going to relay what the discussion was about so that everything is cleared up. And now that we are clear, one of the things that Coach Crawford was hoping to avoid is a hit by pitch with the first batter of the game. That happened in game 1, was the first batter struck in that of Patterson. So now the count is 1-2. Count is 1-2. Patterson is back in the box, and we are ready to go. Patterson shows that bunt with that open stance. It's going to be hard for her to get that bat back, but we'll have to see what she does. And a swing and a miss wraps things up there. So that is a strikeout and a good start for Barbara Cook there after the pause while discussing the motion of hit by pitch or foul ball. The result is a strikeout against Patterson, and Harkins comes to the plate anew with 1 out. So here Sarah Harkins steps in. She is the defensive mastermind out on the field for the Patriots. She is the catcher, and she makes all the calls fielding wise. Got to give her a lot of credit for the work that she does behind the plate defensively. That pitch inside from Barbara Cook. 1-0 is the count.
Harkins is out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, Parkwood High School, mathematics major here at Francis Marion.
That pitch is outside. She did a little math, a little physics calculus there to ascertain that that pitch was outside. So good work on Harkins to have a good grasp of the strike zone. 2-0 is the count. She is well ahead of Barbara Cook here and awaiting a great pitch to hit. Grounder to short, kind of a slow squibber. Harkins beats out the hit. Delaney Guerrero fielded it, but instead of charging to field, she stayed back and awaited one more grounder, one more bounce. That ball was thrown to Madison Ackerman. Ackerman caught it correctly, but a half step ahead was Sarah Harkins. She beats out the base hit. So Carrickson comes up to the plate with one out in the bottom of the first after Harkins beat out a grounder single against the Lander defense. Inside is the pitch. That made Carrickson's knees wobble just a little bit. Carrickson was expecting something else, but Carrickson wisely lets that ball go by her. 1-0 is the count. Harkins is going to go for the steal as the throw from the catcher, Alana Fry, caroms into center field, but Harkins was on the ground trying to beat out that steal. She does so successfully, so she can't advance any further, even though that the throw from Alana Fry made its way into center field.
Harkins, one of the better base runners on the squad, despite being the catcher, now 6 for 6 in stolen bases in 2021.
Carrickson way out ahead in the count, 3-0. Now, there'd be quite a debate here as to whether or not Carrickson should get the green light, but the way the bats have been working for the Patriots today, I think patience is a virtue for the Patriots. I don't expect her swinging on this one.
However, she does lead the team, shares the team lead in RBIs with 19 this year.
That should be a base on balls, and Carrickson let that ball go. She was maybe unsure of what the count was,
or she wanted to hit away.
That's right. She just wanted to keep batting. So instead of base on balls for Carrickson, that brings up the expertise of Sarah Hilton, the cleanup batter for the Patriots, with 2 runners aboard, one on first in Carrickson and one on second in that of Harkins.
Hilton batting 185 on the season, a double, no homers, 2 RBIs. She had 1 hit and an RBI and a run scored in the opener today.
Some nice heat from Rachel Davis on that one. A ball low and away, but certainly in the strike zone for a strike against Hilton. Maybe the best pitch she's thrown this inning. A little bit high is the call. 1-1 is the count.
Hilton is out of Thomasville, North Carolina. Elementary education major here at Francis Marion. She's a graduate of Ledford High School and came to FMU via Lewisburg College up in North Carolina.
Hilton awaits the pitcher, Rachel Davis. Davis gets the call, ready to deal, right down the middle. Hilton fouls it off. And I know I echo this about once a game. Most batters know that they're only going to get 1 or 2 pitches to truly hit a good batter's pitch, per se. And I think that was one that Sarah Hilton let go. So hopefully she can pick up on another opportunity here later on in this at-bat. Hilton shows bunt, pulls it back. Down in the dirt is the throw. 2-2 is the count. Hilton steps back into the box, has her hand raised, emphatically saying, hey, I got timeout until I'm ready to go. One shrug of the shoulders. Meanwhile, Barbara Cook is figuring out what pitch to throw. Hard hit into left field. Nice job by Hilton. Sarah Harkins is going to come home and score for the first run of the game off the base hit from Hilton. Nice job by Hilton to drive that ball into left field. Properly fielded by Lander, but great running by Harkins is the first run of the game. The Patriots lead 1-0.
RBI number 3 of the season for Sarah Hilton. And as they did in the first game, the Patriots take a lead in the bottom of the first inning.
Matzel steps in and is ready. She's way out in front of the batter's box. She chips one, caught by the third baseman, and it's a double play on a liner to third. Fantastic work by Sykes to collect the ball, get that ball into Balser. Balser puts the tag on for the double play. After one inning, the Patriots lead 1-0. Francis Marion University has been around for more than 50 years, but now more than ever, we are looking to the future. 13 new programs in 6 years, majors in engineering, advanced healthcare, environmental science, and more on the way. New programs that meet the challenges of tomorrow. Your future depends on what you study today, and at FMU, your future is bright. And a very bright start for the Patriots, putting one run up on the board in the first inning off of some great base running from Harkins. Sarah Harkins stole second base and eventually came home to score off the hit of Sarah Hilton. So nice work by Harkins to not only get on base, beating out a grounder for a hit, advancing to second on the steal, and then eventually scoring on the Hilton swing for the Patriots to take that 1-0 lead.
And Paul, I don't know if you mentioned this in the first game. This is the final game of the season for both squads. And also for Francis Marion, this is our final contest as a Peach Belt Conference school. And next year, Francis Marion moving to Conference Carolinas, and I'll talk a little bit more about that after the game today as we wrap up. That Francis Marion, a charter member of the Peach Belt, and a longtime rival with Lander, so it's apropos that they're the team we're playing here in our final game as a PBC school.
Yep, and a final match in any sport. This is the last game for the Patriots of any sport here in the spring. So Cook raring and ready to go at the bat. And that's a strike straight down Palmetto Street for Rachel Davis. Nice pitch by Rachel Davis. Cook watches that one go by her. 0-1 is the count. And a swing and a miss from Rachel Cook. From Barbara Cook. And Barbara Cook couldn't catch up to that high heat from the Patriots' Rachel Davis. Cook is quickly behind 0-2.
Cook 0 for 2 in game number 1 today.
Cook now playing defensive. A very defensive swing by her just to foul that off. Rachel Davis is really coming aggressive against Barbara Cook here. So pitcher versus pitcher as we lead off the second inning. Lander at the plate. And the pitcher Cook gets the best of the pitcher Rachel Davis with a driving liner into center field. That is the first base hit of the game for Lander. Nice job by Barbara Cook to get ahead of that, drive that swing hard into center field. So she's now on first base. Batting for Lander is going to be the third baseman in Sykes. Sykes with the intentional bunt. Nice job by her to move around the runner in Cook. So good job by her to advance the runner in Cook. So Cook now standing on second base after a quality bunt by Jordan Sykes. Now Bryceland Balser at the plate. She gets a runner in scoring position in that of Cook. Balser, the second baseman, steps up and gets ready to go.
Balser appeared in game number 1 as a pinch runner. She's batting .083 on the season. This is her 20th game that she's appeared in.
Balser hits that ball on a bloop that falls foul on the left field side in between the fielding shortstop in Patterson and also the left fielder for the Patriots in Smith, but that ball dropped foul. That ball, if fair, would have certainly been a hit. No defender was going to be able to make it in time. 0-1's the count. That pitch is going to be considered a little bit outside, so definitely a tight strike zone here from the umpire, the home plate umpire in James Barrington. I would not call it a postcard strike zone, but he has definitely called things a little tighter than that of the first game.
Balser hails from North Charleston, South Carolina, and she's a former Patriot as she graduated from Fort Dorchester High School.
And with that, Cook advances to second base. That was a steal attempt, and the only correction that the umpires are checking for is to make sure that she left after the pitch was dealt. In fact, it was, as is motioned by the first base umpire in Brad Burton. Two and two is the count to Balser. Balser looking to get things going for Lander. Lander did not score a single run in that of the first game against the great pitching of Taylor Flory. So Lander is definitely anxious to get things going in this inning. High fly ball to the center fielder, and there's going to be a nice job by the center fielder in Danielle Carrickson. She collects that ball and throws hard into third base, preventing the runner in Cook from thinking about going over to third. So now 2 outs after the pop-up from Balser, and that puts Alana Fry, the catcher for Lander, at the plate.
Fry was 0 for 2 in game number 1 today. She's a junior out of Cumming, Georgia, and a transfer from Kennesaw State University, a Division I team that used to be in the Peach Belt.
And a swing and a miss from Alana Fry. Fry could not get on top of that Rachel Davis heater. Alana Fry a little bit late with that swing. Even if she'd made contact, that ball would have clearly went foul into the Lander dugout. Pop fly into right field. And on the foul ball, that ball is not fielded properly. The diving Schmidt went out and tried to catch it, and on the layout, she nearly did collect it for the third out of the inning. Instead, the ball glances off her hands, but she was clearly in foul territory, so 0-2 is the count.
Nice effort by Schmidt that time. She had a long run, had it in her glove at the last minute, and popped out.
Yep, nearly caught it. I think her impact on the ground was what jostled that ball out. Otherwise, that would have been the third out of the inning. Great effort by her. Nearly collected that for the third out. Fry with another foul ball. 0-2 remains the count. Rachel Davis way ahead in the count here on this one. A high changeup. Fry did not bite on that one. 1-2 is the count. I like that pitch call by Rachel Davis to try for that changeup to try to get Alana Fry to swing way out ahead of things, but Fry smartly lets that ball go by. Nice catch by Smallwood in foul territory off of the flick of the bat of Fry, and that's 3 outs against Lander. So as we head into the bottom of the second, FMU leads 1-0.
The world is changing, and Francis Marion University is leading the way as it prepares the young men and women for the future. We've added 5 new classroom buildings and 13 new academic programs in the past 6 years, and more are on the way. We're preparing to build a new environmental research center. We're expanding programs in engineering, business, education, healthcare, and the arts and sciences. And we're adding new fields when they're needed. When tomorrow comes, we'll be ready. Best of all, our students will too.
FMU Athletics would like to thank the following sponsors: Adidas, Circle Park Behavioral Health Services, McLeod Regional Medical Center, Ken Jackson and Remax Professionals, Pepsi, McDonald's, Rains Hospitality including Fairfield Inn, Spring Hill Suites, Courtyard by Marriott, Comfort Inn, and Hyatt Place, King Cadillac Buick GMC, McLeod Sports Medicine, Chick-fil-A, CN3 Performance Enhancement, FBI Construction, State Farm and Agent Jim Stewart, Quincy's Steakhouse, Little Caesars, La Quinta Inn and Suites, KFC Arby's, Florence Toyota, PD Electric Cooperative, Sparrow and Kennedy Tractor Supply, Western Sizzlin Steakhouse, State Credit Union, and Zaxby's. So the Patriots get set to start the bottom of the second inning. FMU jumped up on things early on that base hit from Harkins. Harkins came around to score on the Hilton hit. So for the Patriots are going to try to continue to deal offensive pressure against the pitching of Barbara Cook and the Lander Bearcats. And it's going to be Hannah Schmidt to get things started here in the bottom of the second. Barbara Cook collects herself. Takes one look at the ball. Schmidt is ready to go. A foul ball by Schmidt. And we're underway here in the bottom of the second. Here the Patriot faithful trying to give instructions to Schmidt to get things done. Schmidt handled herself quite nicely in game one. 2 hits on 3 at-bats. 3 RBI in the first game. That one, nice job by the Lander defense. It is a ground out for Schmidt, and Lander quickly tallies 1 out here in the bottom of the second. So Lauren Smallwood steps up to the plate, the freshman for the Patriots. Smallwood from Waycross, Georgia, playing first base today for the Patriots. Smallwood's ready to go. Barbara Cook ready to deal. She dishes. That ball is down and in. Good eye by Smallwood to watch that ball go. 1-0 is the count. Smallwood ready to go with that open stance. That pitch is just a little bit outside. 2-0 is the count. And when I say just a little bit outside, that's not the Bob Euchre outside. That is maybe an inch outside of being a strike. So good pitch by Barbara Cook. Just didn't get the call. That pitch not quite enough on the black of home plate to get the count. Foul ball by Smallwood. 2-1's the count with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Here comes Cook with the pitch. Just outside is the call. 3-1 is the count for Smallwood. Smallwood steps out of the box and steps right back in. Smallwood very calm. She takes her hand off the bat. Very, very relaxed out there, awaiting Barbara Cook's deal. Smallwood drives it hard, but straight at the center fielder in Antonini. And Antonini maybe had to take 2 steps to get to that ball on the pop-up from Smallwood. So
Now batting
Smallwood
number 4,
pops
third
out,
baseman, Chase
and that brings
Booker.
up Chase Booker for the Patriots. Chase Booker steps in, the third baseman for the Patriots. Barbara Cook is very liberal with her time in between pitches out there, so Booker calmly awaits. That pitch is right down the middle, and that's a strike. Barbara Cook with a punch of the chest says, "Thank you for the strike. Get ready for more of those." So I like the competitiveness from Barbara Cook. That one's just a little bit low. 1-1 is the count. Booker at the plate for the Patriots. She gets underneath an inside pitch that was really at the jersey number, and the pitcher in Barbara Cook is way ahead of the count at 1-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Booker shows bunt, as do most of the Patriots when 2 strikes are against them. Booker then flicks that ball into left field. A nice lining hit into left field, fielded successfully by Lunsford, but only after it is a base hit for Booker. Nice job by Booker to battle at the plate, get ahead of that for a base hit. So now batting for the Patriots, Katie Smith.
Katie had a couple of hits and an RBI and a run scored against her hometown team in game number 1. And she is a native of Greenwood, South Carolina, where Lander's located, and a graduate of Greenwood High School.
And that's got to feel good whenever you tally a good day against your hometown team, which is no longer your team. So good on Smith for game 1 and her performance then. Smith takes inside ball 1, so Smith would like nothing more than to tally a few more hits, maybe put a few more runs on the board and continue to put the pressure on her hometown squad of Lander. Inside is the call. 2-0 is the count.
Booker, the runner at first, decent speed, is 1 for 1 in stolen bases this season.
Patriots quite successful on the base paths. They seldom get caught. A strike to Smith, a swing and miss. 2-1's the count.
The Patriots were 2 for 2 in stolen bases in game number 1 today, and on the season now 26 of 29.
That's a hard hit, but that ball is well fielded and well judged by Antonini for Lander. So Lander puts a 0 up on the board against FMU, and after 2, Patriots lead 1-0. So getting things started in the top of the third for Lander is going to be number 32, Reagan Lunsford, the freshman left fielder. Lunsford hitting 0-45 on the season, so with only one hit to be recorded for her, a hit today or a hit here in this moment would double her hit tally for the season. So Lunsford awaits while the Patriots make a few changes, and there's an equipment fix out in left field. And now we are ready to go. Rachel Davis is getting ready to make the pitch. Lunsford drives it hard, but foul into left field. A good cut by Lunsford. She was just a little bit ahead of that. I think Rachel Davis takes a deep breath on that one and says, hey, that's a pitch that I'd like to have back. Lunsford drove that hard, but foul into left field. So 0-1 is the count. And the changeup is just a little high. 1-1 is the count. The calls in this game have been very, very tight. The home plate has been calculated as much smaller by our umpire in James Barrington. A drive caught by the right fielder. Nice job on the pop out by Lunsford. Right fielder for the Patriots in Schmidt runs to her right and collects that ball for the first out of the inning. Batting for Lander is going to be Ackerman. Ackerman takes as a pitch from Rachel Davis goes right down the middle. So that's one strike. And a first pitch changeup from Rachel Davis. Kind of a sneaky pitch there. Nice job by her to mix up the pitch selection and get this first strike against Lunsford, or Ackerman. Ackerman goes away from the body for a nice driving hit into left field. And that is a base hit for her. The second hit of the game for Lander, and Ackerman is aboard with a single. Hard hit drive into left field. Nice job by her. That ball was collected by Smith and immediately relayed in. No chance of advancing to second base on that one. So back to the leadoff hitter in Felix. Felix in game one was 0 for 2, struck out one time, and earlier this game she popped out against Rachel Davis. Chopping ball, and Smallwood didn't field at first base. Smallwood didn't know to go back to first base to field, and that grounder to Booker fielded and immediately threw over to first, not noticing that Smallwood wasn't on first. So Patriots are going to collect themselves, and they're going to meet in the pitcher's circle and try to get collected and try to get settled after that miscue on the side of the Patriots. There's kind of a double miscue there. Booker should have noticed that there was no one fielding first, no one really running to first to be fielding, and also Smallwood needed to turn around and make that play. So it'll be up to Rachel Davis and the rest of the team to bail out the Patriots on that error. And to do it, they're going to have to do it against Antonini. Antonini has hit it hard today, all day, and with only one hit to show for it. She was 1 for 3 in the first game, though she has driven other balls hard at defenders of the Patriots. So Antonini is a strong threat with with runners on second and third. So 2 runners in scoring position. Antonini is in a position that she would like with only 1 out against. 1-1 is the count. With 1 out and an open base at first, Rachel Davis would be wise to be judicious with her pitches to Antonini. Antonini pops it up. Second baseman gets underneath it and immediately throws home. Nice job by the second baseman, Matzel, to field that. It almost looked like it was going to get caught in the sun for her. She immediately catches it, collects the ball for the second out of the inning, and she was prepared to throw home if necessary. So 2 outs, runners at second and third after the pop out from Antonini, and the cleanup hitter in Guerrero is charged with trying to drive at least one of these runners in. Runners at second and third for Lander here with 2 outs in the third. And a ball driven hard, but foul, just foul. That would have easily scored 2 runners for Lander, but instead that ball was hit just barely wide of the left field line. And instead of an awesome hit for Guerrero, it simply goes down in the scorebook as a foul ball and a strike. So 0-1 is the count. 2 outs against Rachel Davis deals. This time, no mistakes. Guerrero drives that ball into center field, and misfield from the center fielder for the Patriots, and Carrickson allows both runners to score. So that is a 2-run RBI hit for Guerrero. And Lander has their first lead of the day by putting up 2 runs here in the top of the third. They lead 2-1. So now for the Patriots are looking for 1 more out. They'll have to do it with a runner on first in Guerrero, and it'll be Rachel Davis going up against number 29, Barbara Cook. Cook had a hit in the second inning. She'd sure love to get another hit here in the third. Cook with the foul ball, so Cook 1 for 1 on the day. Cook was 0 for 2 in game 1. And 1 for 1 here in the back end of the doubleheader. Cook also responsible for the pitching duties for Lander today, this afternoon. That pitch was high and outside, so 1-1 is the count. Cook with a hard hit. That ball is high fly ball. Smallwood gets underneath it. And Smallwood has a hard time getting it. And they're going to call out, and we're going to call runner interference against Smallwood. Smallwood tried to evade the runner in Cook, and instead that was an immediate out called by the umpire. So Lander halts their opportunity there with the call on the runner interference. The runner in Cook interfering with the fielder in Smallwood to prevent that ball from being caught. That's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. We know we've got a consultation here between Coach Glenn Crawford and the officiating crew. So before we close out this inning, we're going to wait for this consultation just to affirm that it was, in fact, runner interference interfering with the defense of Smallwood. And in fact, the call is confirmed. That is out number 3, and that ends the Lander rally. So as we head into the bottom of the 3rd, Lander has taken a 2-1 lead over Francis Marion University.
The Swamp Fox Club is the fundraising arm of the Francis Marion University Athletic Department, and it supplies assistance to all 14 intercollegiate sports. On behalf of the student athletes at Francis Marion, I would like to thank all those who are members of the Swamp Fox Club for their support.
Thank you.
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 So the Patriots are getting ready to get their at-bats started in the bottom of the third. Ashton Patterson to lead things off for the Patriots against Barbara Cook. And the Patriots are facing their first deficit of the day, having led from wire to wire in game one, having a lead 1-0 in the first inning. Lander put up 2 in the top of the third. So here we'll have to see what the Patriots' response is, and it starts with the at-bat of Ashton Patterson. Ashton Patterson in the first game, 1 for 2, and scored a run. And she's 0 for 1 in the game today. And a drive into right field, straight at the right fielder in Felix. Felix maybe had to back up a step. Well hit by Patterson, but right at Felix for the first out of the inning.
So, Paul, we'll see how the Patriots respond now being behind for the first time in today's doubleheader, now trailing 2-1.
And that's usually the most important thing to see from a team is when they're down, can they immediately respond after the runs were tallied against them, as did Lander in the top of the third with 2 runs to take that 2-1 advantage. Harkins takes, but it's a glancing foul call, so Harkins with 1 strike against her with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Harkins hits a Texas leader way high up in the air, fielded successfully by Bryceland Balser for the second out. Balser had to definitely look up into the sun to collect that ball in. Nice job by her not to be distracted. She brings that in. 2 quick outs against the Patriots here in the bottom of the third. Carrickson steps in. She walked in her first attempt of this game today.
Danielle's batting .294 on the season, 4 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, and as I said before, she shares the team lead in RBIs with 19.
Carrickson with a bat on her shoulder. She lifts it off. She is ready to go. She takes a squibbing cut, and that ball goes to the second baseman in Balser. Balser over to Ackerman for the third out of the inning, and after 3, Lander leads 2-1. What makes a campus home? At FMU, it's 836 acres spread across 3 campuses. Francis Marion University has the most diverse and exciting campus in South Carolina. wherever you want to be, you are there at Francis Marion University. And we are here at Francis Marion University where Lander has taken a 2-1 lead. In the top of the third, they took that lead. That's the first lead they've had all day. Patriots led wire to wire in game 1. They put 6 up on the board and never looked back, tallying 9 runs and getting the run rule against Lander after Lander wrapped up their at-bats in the 5th to finish things off. A great job by Taylor Flory to only yield 3 hits in that game 1 matchup.
Defensive substitution for the Patriots here in the top of the 4th is Addie May will go in to play first base for Lauren Smallwood, and she will stay in the game and bat in May's position, or in Smallwood's position, which is the number 9 or 7 hole. I want to thank Rickson Lane and Hunter Julius for their help in the Lander Sports Information Office for getting us the information for this for today's doubleheader. I want to thank them for the help they gave us.
And leading off the top of the 4th is number 19, Jordan Sykes. Sykes watches that one go straight down Palmetto Street for a first pitch strike from Rachel Davis. 0-1 is the count to start things off here in the top of the 4th.
Okay, Paul, now I've got to quiz you. Why did you choose Palmetto Street instead of Irby Street? Palmetto, the main east-west thoroughfare in Florence, but Irby Street, the main north-south thoroughfare. Any reason for Palmetto over Irby?
I think when you're going down Palmetto, how do you find Francis Marion? You go down Palmetto Street. If you're on your way to Myrtle Beach or coming from it, you're on Palmetto when you find the strike zone, which is Francis Marion University. So, yes.
Okay, good answer, good answer.
But you know your geography for Florence, South Carolina for sure. But Palmetto, the thoroughfare, I'm gonna run with this one today, Michael. And with all that banter being said, a foul ball off the bat of Sykes. Sykes is behind in the count at 0-2 here to Rachel Davis. Good choice by Davis. Davis is going to throw that ball outside a little bit, try to force Sykes to wave at it, but instead Sykes very smart at the plate. She lets that one go by. 1-2 is the count. In the dirt, nice stop by Harkins. 2-2 is the count. Nice defensive work by Harkins all game today. I've been really impressed with her defensively out on the field, giving instructions to her teammates throughout this game.
And her, like Fry on the Bearcats side, it is warm out there on the field today. And they've been catching both games of the doubleheader today with all that equipment on. So they've had a long afternoon already.
Yep, there's some hydration that's got to be involved there in the dugout for both of those players. And they are up to the task. And sure enough, Addie May is up to the task of collecting that high infield fly ball for the out. So Sykes is the first out of the inning on the pop-up to May.
Now batting number 30, Brycelyn Balser.
Brycelyn Balser at the plate. She popped out in her first plate appearance. Balser entered the game in game 1 as a pinch runner, and that was her introduction to today's action. She is starting in the 6th spot at second base here in game 2. So we're getting ready to get things started here with 1 out in the top of the 4th. Lander has a 2-1 lead. Balser steps into the box. Davis knows what she's throwing, and she's ready. That pitch just outside. And both pitchers in game 2 have been charged with the responsibility of hitting a very, very accurate and tight strike zone. Much different than that in game 1, where there were a lot of swings and a lot of availability for a strike. A drive from Balser into left field. She saunters into second base as that ball went into left field, made it all the way to the wall, fielded successfully by Smith. Smith with the relay in, but not only after Balser goes in with a stand-up double. She is in scoring position for Alana Fry, and as you mentioned, she is the catcher for Lander, so she's certainly dealing with the heat herself. Have a lot of respect for these catchers and all these athletes dealing with the heat that has really ticked up late this afternoon here in Florence, South Carolina. Fry watches the pitch go down and in. Rachel Davis is not amused with that call. You can see her, even from here, I can see those eyes kind of roll, suggesting that she'd kind of like that call to be a strike, but instead, 1-0 is the count. Two and 0, and Lander's got something going here with a runner in scoring position in Balser, who hit a double just a moment ago, and now Fry ahead in the count at 2-0 with Rachel Davis on the mound for the Patriots.
That double was hit number 4 of the afternoon for Lander. Patriots have 3. Francis Marion has committed the only error here in game number 2. Of course, that miscue led to both of the runs in the third inning being unearned, but nonetheless, the Bearcats lead 2-1.
Fine outside, so 3-1, so definitely a batter's count for Alana Fry here. And with a runner in scoring position, we'll have to wait and see how aggressive Alana Fry wants to be at the plate. Rachel Davis this inning not throwing a lot of strikes. For Fry, she may be more than happy to watch that one go by. Sure enough, she does. She walks to first with a walk, and in doing so, the runner Balser at second base sprints to third on a steal. And Coach Stacy Valley is going to discuss whether or not the runner left in time. Or pardon me.
New pitcher coming in.
Oh, we're going to add a new pitcher. That's right. The leaving in time, that call would have taken place immediately, as was corrected for me earlier, for sure, out on the field. So we're going to get a pitching change. Rachel Davis not too thrilled about that, but she understands that that's the case. And the handoff, she is going to do a solid to Taylor Flory. She's going to hand the ball to Taylor Flory, who had an outstanding game 1. So Flory is going to be charged with coming out and trying to slow down the Lander bats, which have slowly kicked in to take a 2-1 lead out there on the field here in the 4th inning.
Flory got the win, as you mentioned, in game number 1, 5 shutout innings, 3 hits allowed, no walks, 4 strikeouts. She improved to 5-8 on the season. This will be her 22nd appearance and her 6th in relief. She does have 1 save. Tough luck for Rachel Davis, however, as you know, without that error in the top of the 3rd inning, she'd be pitching a shutout right now. Now, again, they still could be threatening with the Patriots leading 1-0, but nonetheless, not necessarily all her doing in the Patriots trailing at this point 2-1.
You certainly can't put all of this on Rachel Davis. I think Coach Valley is simply making the change because she knows that this game is well within reach, only being down 2-1, but with 1 out and a runner on third, it's imperative that this inning be halted by the Patriots pitching without yielding another run. And to get 2 outs, that's going to be a tricky task. Pardon me, runners at first and third. And that's going to be a tricky task.
And Flory and Davis are the only 2 healthy pitchers on the squad right now, as the other 2 pitchers are not dressed for today. But luckily for Francis Marion, Flory only threw 64 pitches in that first game, so not like she threw 120 in 7 innings. She only had to throw 5 innings with the run rule, so she's a little more rested coming back in for game 2.
And that's very fortunate that Coach Valley can go to her bench and see if she can get some relief from Flory. And we're going to get a rundown from the runner at third. And now we might get a rundown. A double play. And the Patriots, with 1 pitch, get the rundown. Oh, wait a minute. So the runner that was advancing to second, she's going to stand and say that she was safe. But the rundown at the plate was a great job by Sarah Harkins to get that job done. Sarah Harkins the catcher is talking to the home plate umpire saying, hey, was she really safe? Didn't look like that to her own eyes. But regardless, one pitch is the grounder to third, and Booker comes home to Harkins and gets the rundown to knock out the runner at third. So great job by them to at least get the lead runner. So now a runner on second with 2 outs, and the Patriots may be able to get out of this inning.
Nearly pulled off the double play. And that brings up the number 9 hitter in Madison Ackerman.
Yep, Ackerman with a hit in her previous at-bat. She is 1 for 1 on the day.
After going 0 for 1 in game number 1.
And a grounder. May knocks it down and steps on first base. I can't say enough about Flory. Steps in and throws a couple of great pitches to thwart the rally from Lander. Lander does not score after the pitching change. They do not score in that inning. And after the end, to head into the bottom of the fourth, the Patriots remain down by only 1, 2-1.
The world is changing, and Francis Marion University is leading the way as it prepares the young men and women for the future. We've added 5 new classroom buildings and 13 new academic programs in the past 6 years, and more are on the way. We're preparing to build a new environmental research center. We're expanding programs in engineering, business, education, healthcare, and the arts and sciences, and we're adding new fields when they're needed. When tomorrow comes, we'll be ready. Best of all, our students will too.
So the Patriots pick things back up in the bottom of the fourth inning as the pitching change brought Flory in. Taylor Flory came in and got 2 quick outs to prevent Lander from scoring. Lander leads 2-1. They put both of their runs on unearned in the top of the third. So now coming into bat for the Patriots to try to have an answer is Sarah Hilton. Hilton with a hit. She is 1 for 1 in this game. She's looking for more here to start things off in the bottom of the fourth.
4, 5, and 6 in the Patriot lineup due here. Time to build off the momentum from the good top of the fourth inning here in the bottom of the fourth.
That's a strike right down the middle from Barbara Cook. Barbara Cook has been dealing most of this game. Nice job by Barbara Cook on that first pitch strike to Sarah Hilton. Hilton drives the ball hard into the gap in left center field. That ball is going to go down. An easy stand-up double for Sarah Hilton. Hilton drove it hard. Had there been any breeze at all, we might be talking about a solo home run, but instead that ball lands on
Now batting second baseman, number 3, Megan.
lands in the gap, fielded for a leadoff double.
Double number 2 of the season for Hilton. And she's now in scoring position with no outs for Megan Matzel, who along with Carrickson shares the team lead in RBIs with 19.
Matzel ready to swing. She looks very aggressive up there. She shows bunt. Fielded successfully by the third baseman, Sykes. Sykes flips over to the first base, so that's the first out of the inning, but successfully Matzel moves Hilton around to third. So now Hilton standing on third base for the Patriots. So now Jordan Carlson is going to come in and hit in the 6th spot in place of Schmidt. Carlson getting her instructions from Coach Valley.
Now batting for your Patriots, number 9, Jordan Carlson.
So Carlson came in and fielded in game 1, but did not have a plate appearance. So Carlson getting ready to hit for the first time today. Carlson with a wobbly left knee. She wobbles, that's part of her rhythm. Wide open stance. She takes a chop at it. That ball is going to land behind the shortstop. She plates the runner in Hilton. So a first pitch swing by Carlson bloops in between the center fielder, left fielder, and shortstop for a hit. And the Patriots have tied things up at 2.
To play for your Patriots, first baseman, number 30, Addie May.
So now Addie May steps in. 1 out and a runner on first. That's Carlson with the RBI. A moment ago. And that pitch goes right down the middle. Nice pitch from Barbara Cook. A low pitch, but a strong pitch by her. Addie May watches it go by. And the count is 0-1. Here comes Addie May. Addie May takes a swing at it, waves at it. She's a little late, so she battles that one off. That ball is foul. And she is quickly behind 0-2. Addie May shows bunt, as does the faithful Patriot batters most of the time when they have 2 strikes against them. She grounds that one to the pitcher. And they try for the double play. The force out to second, but the throw across to first is not in time. Addie May makes it on the fielder's choice. So now Booker comes to the plate. Booker with a hit in her first plate appearance.
Booker.
She is 1 for 1 on the day. Booker steps in, 1 tap of the bat on the plate. Patriots are threatening here with a runner on first. That's Addie May, with Booker at the plate looking to create some more offense. Nice changeup from Barbara Cook. Booker way ahead of the business there. A quick first strike pitch by Barbara Cook.
Normally, I think in this position, Stacey Valley would probably pinch run for Addie May at first, but because May entered the game as a substitute, I think if she comes out, she would be burned for the rest of the game, so that's why she's still running.
Yep, and May, one of the standard, a standard mainstay on defense for the Patriots at first base. There's no need to risk it here. Patriots have tied the game. They have proven they can put runs up against the Lander squad. So tied at 2. Yep, I think a good decision by Stacey Valley to leave Addie May out there and let her run. And that's going to be a strike. Now, it's the first strike that we've seen that has been down and inside like that. Most of those have been called balls. You hear some groans from the FMU faithful, but alas, those groans have nothing to do with the actual call. 1-2 is the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Patriots have put 1 run up to tie it at 2. Inside is the pitch. That one was a little bit clearer inside. 2-2 is the count.
Booker had a 2-run double in game number 1, which the Patriots won 9-0. She's a junior out of Zephyr Hills, Florida, Zephyr Hills High School, and came to Francis Marion from Pascal Hernando State College. This is her first year at FMU. And she is a mass communications major.
And a swing and a miss, and a Booker strikes out, but only after the Patriots put a good quality run up on the board to tie it up. After 4, we are tied at 2.
Save the date, May 24th, 6 o'clock in the Performing Arts Center downtown, the annual FMU Swamp Fox Club benefit auction. If you go to the website, fmupatriots.com, there's a splash page that has a link to the auction website. It is both an in-person auction down at the Performing Arts Center, but also there is an online version, so you can see all the items there. You can bid on all the items online or in person, but May 24th, 6 o'clock, downtown in the Performing Arts Center is the Swamp Fox Club benefit auction to help with scholarships for the student athletes here at Francis Marion University.
And that's a real fun one. That one is professionally emceed, so you hear the calls for the different bids just as you would hear it at any other event. It's quite a sight to see, and if you've never been, you've really got to get there. And as Michael Hawkins said, you can find out how to get there. Check out the FMU website for more information.
Tickets are $25 for a single and $40 for a couple. There are group rates available as well, and like I said, if you can't make it, there's an option that you can register and bid online.
So here we are at the top of the fifth. Felix at the plate. Felix is 0 for 1 on the day. She had a pop out, but then she made it to first base on a fielding error in the third, and that was part of Lander's 2-run third inning. Grounder to third. Nice job by Smith to keep her hips down and stay on that ball. She throws that across to May for the first out of the inning.
I want to mention that Felix is from the same hometown as is FMU second baseman Megan Matzel, that being Indian Trail, North Carolina. They did not go to the same high school as Matzel went to Porter Ridge High School. Felix went to Piedmont High School, and Felix went to Appalachian State before ending up in Greenwood there at Lander. But they'd grown up in the same hometown anyway of Indian Trail, North Carolina.
They probably know each other from softball circles, even if they didn't go to the same high school.
Absolutely.
And a bunt and a miss to start things off from Antonini. Antonini has easily been the best batter for Lander, even if her hits record doesn't show it. She has threatened with some great swings, and in game one she was 1 for 3, and a second one was thwarted with a hard hit that was caught on the infield, which otherwise would have been a fantastic base hit had the positioning of the FMU fielders been properly set. Quickly behind 0-2 is Antonini. Antonini is 0 for 2 here in game 2. Outside's the call. Rachel Davis was trying to catch, Flory was trying to catch Antonini swinging, but to no avail. I mentioned Rachel Davis. Rachel Davis was the starter in this game. She was replaced by Taylor Flory. Fielded successfully by Matzel over to May for the second out. So Flory came in and took over for Rachel Davis. The 2 runs tallied by Lander are unearned, so good on Rachel Davis. However, she was in a pinch, and Coach Valley called on Taylor Flory. Flory got a rundown for a runner in scoring position, and then a ground out to quickly get out of a very threatening 4th inning.
And of course, the Patriot run in the bottom of the 4th got Rachel Davis off the hook for the loss as well, so now Taylor Flory is the pitcher of record as the score is tied.
Oh, and a fantastic diving catch from the right fielder for the Patriots in Schmidt. Schmidt was running over to the foul side, and she goes ahead and catches that ball.
Jordan Carlson.
Oh, pardon me, the senior Jordan Carlson who came into the game. And what a highlight for the senior in her last game as a Patriot softballer to charge out in right field and collect that ball. Maybe that ball was probably going to be on the line for a hit. She charged it, caught that ball diving, lands in foul territory for the 3rd out of the inning, and heading into the bottom of the 5th, we remain tied at 2.
The Swamp Fox Club is a fundraising arm of the Francis Marion University Athletic Department, and it supplies assistance to all 14 intercollegiate sports. On behalf of the student athletes at Francis Marion, I would like to thank all those who are members of the Swamp Fox Club for their support.
Thank you.
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 So we're heading into the bottom of the fifth for the Patriots, and batting is the left fielder, Smith. And to finish things off in the fourth, a thrilling catch, a diving catch from Jordan Carlson to get the third out of the top of the fifth against Lander to thwart Lander's attempt at a rally. A great hit stopped by Carlson with the catch. So getting things started for the Patriots is Smith. Smith popped out in her first plate attempt in this game.
9, 1, and 2 due up for the Patriots. And, you know, Katie Smith may be batting in the number 9 hole, but her season average of 280, 7 RBIs, she's 7 for 7 in stolen bases, an on-base percentage of 379, and might as well as be a second leadoff batter here as the Patriots start in the fifth.
Agreed, and she's really shown herself in the first game. Nice job by Smith. She had a double and a triple in her plate appearances, her 2 plate appearances in game 1. Another hard hit, that one to the shortstop in Guerrero. Guerrero across to Ackerman for the first out of the bottom of the fifth.
Guerrero, a nice stop that time. She had one chance at it to spear it, and luckily for her, she came up with it. Any type of bobble there or mishandle, Smith is so fast she would have been safe at first, but a nice play by the Bearcat shortstop.
Yeah, fielding is at a premium there, especially against the speedster and Smith. So another speedster comes to the plate. This is the leadoff hitter for the Patriots. This is Ashton Patterson.
Those who followed the Patriots this year know that Patterson is also a senior. Now, she was not recognized before the game because she is going to take advantage of the NCAA's extra year that they granted with last season being cut short due to COVID. So she will be returning next year to play another season for FMU.
And that's fortunate for Stacey Valley and the Patriots, a very solid player. Now on that one, on the first pitch, that ball is popped out to Lunsford, who successfully collects the ball for the second out of the inning.
The catcher, Sarah Harkins.
Now Sarah Harkins comes to the plate. In the first inning, she had a hit, stole second base, and eventually made it around for the first run of the game for the Patriots. And just barely outside is the call from Barbara Cook. Her pitch doesn't quite catch the black on that home plate. Harkins smartly watches that ball go by. 1 ball and no strike.
This will be pitch number 55 for Cook here in game number 2.
Harkins drives that into right field for a single. Nice job by her. She puts bat on ball. Fielded successfully by Felix, but only after Harkins takes first base. So with 1 out, with two out single from Harkins, gives a chance for Carrickson to do a little bit of damage here. Carrickson walked in her first plate appearance of the game.
Carrickson out of Bartow, Florida, and Bartow High School. She's a biology major here at FMU. And I certainly think that with 2 outs, Harkins is a threat to run here. She already has 1 stolen base in this game, 6 for 6 on the season. It'd be nice to get her into scoring position, give Carrickson a chance to drive her in.
We'll have to see what Harkins does. I think it really depends on what kind of pitch Harkins anticipates. Swing and a miss from Carrickson. 1-1 is the call. And Harkins the catcher for the Patriots, she has a good understanding of what kinds of pitches and pitch decisions Barbara Cook may make. So she's really waiting to see when the time is right to take off.
She's going on this pitch. And she shouldn't have.
And she shouldn't have. The pitch out of sorts from Barbara Cook, and a great throw from Alana Fry across to the shortstop, Delaney Guerrero, puts out the attempt of the steal from Harkins. So we've wrapped up 5 innings after 5.
And that's why I'm up here in the booth and not down there on the field.
Right, that's right. Well, hey. And we head into the top of the 6th inning. We are deadlocked at 2. Taylor Flory has come in and pitched masterfully in place of Rachel Davis. Rachel Davis yielded 2 runs, which were unearned, but she was in a pinch. So Coach Valley went to Taylor Flory. Flory got the Patriots out of that 3rd inning, and since then she's been on cruise control.
Barbara Cook, the Bearcat pitcher, will lead off the top of the 6th inning. So I think we're obligated to say at this point that she's up there to help her own cause.
Without a doubt, and she helped earlier in the game with a base hit. So what they're really looking for are runs. The later this game goes, I think you always give advantage to the home team. And at 2-2 with the Patriots ace, or at least pitching like an ace so far, Lander, any batter that can get on base would be considered a premium for the Lander squad. A first pitch foul from Cook.
Cook does have 1 home run this year, 5 RBIs.
And pardon me, it is Cook that's at the plate. I had called out Guerrero's numbers. There's a base hit. 1 for 2 is the record for Cook in this game today. Pitch is outside. And 1-1's your count.
Patriots looking for the sweep of this season finale doubleheader as Francis Marion won game number 1, 9-0.
That ball's in the dirt. Bit of an overflow. It's throw. It's the first time I've seen an overthrow by Flory today. She really just kind of lost control of that pitch. 2-1 is the count. And a swing and a miss. 2-2 is the count. She was way behind on that one. So Cook looking to catch back up here and, as you mentioned before, help her cause with a leadoff hit would certainly go a long ways toward helping Lander mount a rally that could at least tally 1 run this inning and take the lead. And there it is, a drive between the shortstop and the diving effort of the 3rd baseman for the Patriots in Booker, and the leadoff runner is aboard with a nice base hit from Barbara Cook.
And it looks like Lander will employ a pinch runner here for Cook at first base. We'll see who's going in.
I think it's going to be number 16 for Lander. That's going to be Jillian Tarpening.
Tarpening, a freshman utility player out of Matthews, North Carolina. She was homeschooled.
So the Patriots are going to get ready to go against the speedster in Tarpening. Tarpening is prepping to steal a base, if at all possible, and she's going to try to do that against number 19, Sykes, for Lander. Sykes shows bunt. Tarpening attempts the steal on the first pitch. Tarpening makes it in, diving on her front, reaches in with her hand and barely evades the tag of the Patriots and number 15, Ashton Patterson, the shortstop. So Tarpening now standing on second base with Sykes at the plate. Sykes attempts to bunt again. This one is fouled off, so now 0-2 is the count. So for the Patriots, Flory ahead in the count over Sykes, but a runner on second with no outs is is Tarpening, the pinch runner for Cook, who got the base hit. And a swing and a miss. That's just what the doctor ordered for Taylor Flory. She gets the strikeout to get one out, with Tarpening now standing on second and threatening in scoring position with number 30, Brycelyn Balser, who doubled in her last plate appearance.
So how big now is the stolen base in that Sykes could not get the sacrifice bunt down, but yet the Bearcats still have a runner in scoring position?
It's a nice opportunity for Lander and Balser, who entered, also a speedster herself. She actually entered the game in the first game as a pinch runner, so look for big wheels from Balser here if she makes contact. Foul ball gets things started for Flory, the pitcher. 0-1 is the count. Balser steps out of the box. She gets back in. She checks the plate. Flory ready to throw. High and outside is the throw. 1-1 is the count. This is a tricky one. Harkins has one eye on her own pitcher, and she's got the other eye on Tarpening. She's ready to field it and toss to third in case Tarpening tries to steal. Tarpening will try to get over there, especially if there's a ball in the dirt. Inside's the call, 2-1. Balser steps out again. Knocks the dirt off the cleats. Takes a couple waves of the wand. Gets set in the batter's box, and she's ready to go. She swings. And a miscommunication by the Patriots. And Balser is left standing on third. The left fielder smartly comes in for the Patriots. Ian Smith fields it and relays the ball to Harkins to prevent the runner in Tarpening from making it all the way home. So runners at second and third with one out here, and Lander is threatening to put some runs up on the board. So coming up to the plate for Lander, barring any changes, is going to be number 6, Fry, the catcher. Coach Stacy Valley is going to go out to the mound, and she's going to have a bit of a discussion with her players. Coach Crawford is having words with her batter with his batter in Alana Fry, and a bit of a miscue there. The shortstop and the third baseman Both had hesitation as to who was going to play it. Both end up on the ground, and that ball trickles through them. Good on the left fielder for the Patriots in Smith to get that ball relayed in without Turpinning making it from second all the way home. So now with one out, runners at second and third, Fry has a golden opportunity to knock in one run or maybe even two. Right now we're deadlocked at 2 runs apiece. And a bunt for a base hit, successfully bunted to Flory. Flory fields and sends that ball to Harkins, but Turpinning way too fast. Turpinning makes it home and scores, so that's a base hit for Fry. And Turpinning comes around from third to score. So now Lunsford at the plate with Lander having taken a 3-2 lead.
No base hit that time, but she does get an RBI and a credit for fielder's choice on the sacrifice bunt, which is basically in softball a safety squeeze.
Yep, no suicide on that one. She wasn't going until she saw that bunt down.
RBI number 10 of the year for Fry, and the Bearcats now lead 3-2.
And Lunsford is just looking to put something in play. She's choked up way up, and Harkins goes and tries to make the runner at third think about what she's doing. The runner at third makes it to the ground. I don't think Harkins was ever going to put that ball in play with a throw. Way too risky to, if that ball were mishandled and a runner could score, extending Lander's lead from 3-2 to 4-2. Instead, runners at first and third now with 1 strike.
Balzer, the runner at third, just basically followed the third baseman in as she charged on the bunt attempt. And when the bunt was not bunted, when the ball wasn't bunted, of course, then she had to retreat to third as the shortstop, Patterson, came over to cover. Patriots do need a strikeout here. That would be nice with runners on the corners and only 1 out.
Yep, 1 out is the problem for the Patriots. They need to get another out here to get in a situation where they can get out of this inning having only given up 1 run. And the half play, Harkins throws to the pitcher in Flory, trying to get the runner at third to try to sneak home, but she's smarter than that, so instead she stays put, and the runner advances from first to second, so runners at second and third with 1 out.
So Fry credits Fry with the stolen base, her second of the season, and the Bearcats have 2 in scoring position with only 1 out.
Lunsford stays alive at the plate with a foul. She had a hard time getting ahead of that one. She is choked way up on her bat. She is looking to make contact, and just solid contact here, and force the Patriot defense to do their jobs. Now, if she can get that ball out of the infield, it'll easily score 1, maybe even 2, but she's looking for contact here at 1-2 in the count. Make it 2-2 on a high outside pitch. It's the first jam that Flory has really seen since early on in game 1 that the Patriots were victorious in, 9-0. That ball just a little low. 3-2, the count is full with runners on second and third. I think that's a call that Flory was hoping to get on that one, but to no avail. This has been very consistent with the strike zone, and that clearly was a ball. 3-2 is the count against Lunsford. Lunsford with a little bit of a foul chip. Just gets a little bit of piece of that so as to avoid the strikeout. Flory ever so close to getting the strikeout and getting to 2 outs with runners at second and third.
Going back to the start of the inning, of course, Cook's base hit started all of this, and although she was pinch run for it, that runner came around to score the go-ahead run, so she did help her own cause.
And that's a base on ball. That pitch was a little bit low to Lunsford, so now the bases are jammed with only 1 out. Ackerman is tabbed with coming to the plate, the lefty hitter. Ackerman with a hit in the 3rd inning. Ackerman was 0 for 1 in the first game.
This is probably the biggest at-bat of the game. As the Bearcats lead 3-2, certainly a margin the Patriots could come back from, but with the bases loaded here, the Patriots need an out without a run scoring.
And that's a start for the Patriots with a strike that came right down the middle. I don't think Ackerman was going to take much of a swing at anything except something that was easy to hit. Instead, that's the first strike. 0-1 is the count. Flory takes a deep breath. She knows she's got some work to do with the bases loaded for Lander. A swing and either a foul tip, a glancing foul tip, or just a swing and a miss. Either way, Ackerman 0-2, down in the count. Flory way ahead. Watch for Ackerman to swing at just about anything to defend the plate here with runners at every base for Lander. That pitch just a bit outside. 1-2 is the count.
Not a bad waste pitch. It was close enough possibly to get a swing from the batter. Patriot defense in the infield is playing in as they are going to come to the plate on a ground ball at probably any spot except for maybe first base, and May might tag the bag and then come home.
High is the pitch there. 2-2 is the count.
So if this is the biggest at-bat, this is probably the biggest pitch here with 2-2. You don't want to go full count. Want to make it happen here.
Yep, full count it would clearly be advantage Lander. They're going to be going up there swinging, knowing that that pitch is going to come over the plate if at all possible. And Ackerman stays with it. Maybe not the most aggressive swing there. She was trying to make sure to defend against the strikeout, and I think that was almost an intentional foul of sorts. Ackerman with a wave of the wand. Flory looks at her wristband, knows the pitch. Ackerman can't quite get around it. That ball goes foul into the Patriots bullpen. We remain at a count of 2-2. Bases are jammed for Lander with only one out. A golden opportunity for Lander here to put runs up on the board. They already tallied one this inning. They lead 3-2. Ackerman with a pop fly. And I like the smart decision making from Smith. Smith maybe could have caught that foul ball. If she catches it, the runner at third walks home and scores. So you love that smart, heady non-catch from Smith. If Smith catches that ball, there's another run on the board for Lander. So, boy, I can't tell you enough about how smart a move that is.
I agree. The flip side is, if this girl gets a hit, you obviously needed the out. So it could go both ways depending on what happens next.
And what happened next? A strikeout, the punch out on the check swing. Ackerman couldn't quite hold back after that ball went foul, and that's going to be a strikeout. And we're going to get a bit of a debate from the coach in Glenn Crawford. Actually, no debate. Crawford is going to make a change here. Let's see what he decides to do.
Pinch hitter going to come up Morgan Watson, sophomore infielder out of Cumming, Georgia, and Forsyth Central High School will pinch hit. She played second base in game number 1 today, was 1 for 2. And as it turns out, a very heady play by Smith out in left field. And I do agree with you, she let that ball drop.
Yeah, it
intentionally.
It was very intentional there, and sometimes we've seen it where it wasn't intentional, it was just a mistake. That was no mistake at all. Can't say enough about it. Now we'll see how things shake out with the pinch hitter in Watson. And another attempt from Coach Glenn Crawford to try to generate some more runs with the bases loaded now with 2 outs. That pitch just a little low.
Watson came into the doubleheader today batting .286, 5 homers, 16 RBIs, and like I said, she had 1 hit in the opener today.
1-0 is the count. Critical batter for Lander and a critical situation for Frances Marion and Taylor Flory and her Patriots. If they can get out of here yielding only 1 run, I think they would call that a success. Two and 0 is the count. That ball in the dirt, 3-0. Well, 3-0, and with Morgan Watson at the plate, I think Watson is probably going to watch this one.
She may take two.
Yep, she may take two. Hey, why not? Any chance for a freebie, she's going to take it. Now, I like Florrie's location here today, all day, including in game one. So we'll have to see what she comes with here as Morgan Watson shows bunt. A little bit inside, and it's a base on ball. So Watson smartly allows that ball to go by her, and it is a base on ball for the run for Lander. Lander now takes a 4-2 lead.
And so Kyra Felix, the right fielder, will re-enter the contest for Watson running at first base. But Watson picks up the RBI on the bases loaded walk. That's RBI number 17 of the year for her. And the Bearcats now lead 4-2.
And now Antonia out at the plate. Antonini, pardon me, at the plate. She is a very threatening batter, and while she does not have a hit in this game, she was 1 for 3 in game one, and she has hit the ball very hard in all of her plate attempts so far today.
I don't think that the Francis Marion battery of Florrie and Harkins was terribly thrilled with the ball 4 call there, but the home plate umpire James Barrington said the ball was down low, and that was relayed to the Patriot bench, who I'm sure wasn't happy with the call either. But as it stands, it's a bases loaded walk, and the margin is now 2 runs.
And a hard hit ball into center field. That finishes things off. Another hard hit by Antonini, but that ball is collected by Carrickson for the 3rd out of the inning. As we head into the bottom of the 6th, Lander has put 2 on the board to take a 4-2 lead.
The world is changing, and Francis Marion University is leading the way as it prepares the young men and women for the future. We've added 5 new classroom buildings and 13 new academic programs in the past 6 years, and more are on the way. We're preparing to build a new environmental research center. We're expanding programs in engineering, business, education, healthcare, and the arts and sciences, and we're adding new fields when they're needed. When tomorrow comes, we'll be ready. Best of all, our students will too.
Thanks again for joining us on the Patriots Sports Network. Lander Bearcats just put up 2 runs in the top of the 6th, so the Patriots are looking to respond here. Lander holds a 4-2 lead. Lander with 6 hits on the day. FMU with 6 hits on the day to go along with 1 error that aided Lander in 2 of their runs in the 3rd inning. So if the Patriots try to get things started, is going to be Sarah Hilton. Pardon me, it's going to be Carrickson. Carrickson's going to come back in the bottom of the 6th inning.
She was at bat, remember, when Harkins got thrown out stealing.
That's right.
The 5th.
Yep, that's right. So Carrickson will have another shot at it, this time as the leadoff hitter for the Patriots.
Meat of the order, 3, 4, and 5, as the Patriots need a couple runs here to tie it up.
Yep, and all of this starts with base runners. The Patriots need to work their way to get on base. It doesn't matter if it's a walk, a base hit. Hey, you love the solo homers. You like it any way you can get it. If they can hit the ball hard, they can put pressure on that Lander defense and maybe force an error of sorts, anything to get runners aboard so they can catch up and put at least 2 more on the board to tie things up. Swing and a miss. Nice job on the changeup from the pitcher, Barbara Cook. Carrickson way out ahead of that one for the first strike of the bottom of the 6th inning. Carrickson is balanced and ready to go. Fouls that one off. Barbara Cook ahead on the count here quickly in the bottom of the 6th. 0-2 is the count. Barbara Cook collects herself. She's out in the circle as the sun beats down. She shakes that ball around. She's ready to go. That pitch is just a little bit low. So Carrickson survives the at-bat so far. 1-2 is the count. Barbara Cook really wanted that call, but close pitches have generally been called balls most of this second game of the doubleheader. Another foul ball from Carrickson. That ball sails out into way past left field and past the left field bullpen. Carrickson stays alive at 1-2.
Bearcats are looking for their first road win of the year here in the season finale. 0-9 away from home. All 15 of their wins have come there at the Jeff May Complex in Greenwood.
Carrickson steps in. She's going to show bunt as she normally does with 2 strikes against. Third and first base are pulled in just a little bit defensively. Short and second are back in their natural positions. And another changeup to Carrickson gets the job done. That's a strikeout for Barbara Cook, the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning.
Now batting designated players, number 10, Sarah Hilton.
So Sarah Hilton is going to come on and try to get things going for the Patriots. She is 2 for 2 on the day. A single in the first inning, a double in the 4th. So Hilton with the hot hand today in the second game. She was 1 for 3 in game 1. That's a pitch just a little low, I think is going to be the call. A bit of a postcard strike zone in this second game from home plate umpire James Barrington. He's been consistent with it. Pitchers have to go over the plate if they're going to get that strike call. Sarah Hilton hits it hard at the shortstop. Shortstop makes no mistake. Guerrero throws that ball across to Ackerman. That ball was sailing a little bit, but Ackerman, a very long first baseman, she reaches up and catches that for the force out, the second out of the inning. Now batting is Matzel. Matzel with a sac bunt in the 4th inning to get the runner from second to third for the Patriots. Sarah Hilton later scored in the 4th for that run. That pitch just a little bit outside to Matzel. 1-0 is the count.
If she can extend the inning, Jordan Carlson would be next for the Patriots.
Cook gets her instructions from her dugout, and she's ready to go. Foul ball for Matzel. Matzel stays in there, taking good cuts. 1-1 is the count. Barbara Cook very judicious with her time out there on the mound. She looks over and she's getting instructions from the dugout on every pitch. She's very collected out there before making her pitch. That pitch was fouled off for another strike, so 1-2 is the count. With 2 outs this inning, we are in the bottom of the 6th. And Barbara Cook really has, for the most part, been very, very settled this entire game as a pitcher for Lander. 1-2 is the count. And that's going to be a blooper that goes over the second baseman. So Matzel is aboard with a nice base hit over the second baseman in Balser, fielded successfully by the right fielder in Felix. Felix relays that ball in, and now at the plate is Jordan Carlson.
Carlson had a great diving catch down the right field line earlier in the game. The top defensive play, I think you could say, of the contest.
Absolutely. And what a highlight for her. This is her last game as a Patriot, as a senior, so a fielding gem for her during this game. First pitch ball to Carlson. Carlson looking to make things happen. The Patriots just need to extend this inning, get more runners aboard, and obviously a hard hit ball from Carlson. The Patriots would love to have Matzel come around and score, but Matzel's got 180 feet to go if she's going to do so.
Carlson came into the game with a .304 average and a .385 on base percentage. She picked up a base hit in her first at bat here in game number 2.
Carlson with the wobble, the standard wobble of her left knee. She is now ready to go. Grounder from Carlson goes to the third baseman. Third baseman Sykes handles it properly. This sweep over to Ackerman for the third out of the 6th inning, and we've completed 6. Lander's going to come up in the top of the 7th, and after 6, it is Lander 4, FMU 2.
A couple of defensive changes for the Patriots here as we head to the 7th. Seniors Taylor Lucian and Bailey Purdue in the lineup defensively for Francis Marion. Lucian playing third base now, and Purdue going in for Matzel at second base. So all 3 of the seniors playing their final game are on the field right now as we head to the 7th inning. Patriots trailing the Bearcats 4-2.
And Guerrero is going to come up to the plate for Lander. Guerrero with a hit on the day, so for her already having a very good day. And in game 1, she had one of Lander's 3 hits on the day. She was 1 for 2 in game 1.
Looking ahead to the Patriots 7th, it'll be 7, 8, and 9 in the order. That's Addie May, Taylor Lucian, and Katie Smith to bat for the Patriots in the bottom of the inning once we get there.
And a first pitch swing is caught successfully by Carlson. Carlson chases that down. She had to run and chase into the right/center field gap to get that driving ball on a first pitch swing from Guerrero. That's the first out of the inning.
Batting number 29, Barbara Cook.
Barbara Cook re-entering the game after Turpinning was running for her. Turpinning did end up scoring for her to get one of the runs that allowed Lander to take the lead. So now back to Cook at the plate. Cook with a hard hit ball, but that ball goes straight into the collecting glove of Carlson. Carlson with the second out of the inning. She already tallied the first out of this inning on a running chasing play, and she probably had the best defensive play of the day on a chasing ball that was going to be hitting the right field foul line. She runs and dives and does catch that ball for the out. So good on Carlson defensively today.
So she's got a chance here to tie a record held by many in the game of softball, and that's being able to record 3 unofficial or unassisted putouts in an inning if they can hit a fly ball to her. Lander will bring up a pinch hitter in the form of Eliza Gonzalez, a freshman pitcher and infielder from Miramar, Florida, and Pembroke Pines Charter High School.
Gonzalez steps in. That pitch right down Palmetto Street. Taylor Flory not wasting any time trying to get the third out of this inning so that the Patriots can go back and try to tally 2 runs to catch up to Lander.
This is the first plate appearance of Gonzalez, according to the stats this season. She is a pitcher with a 1-3 record. She's pitched in 12 games with 6 starts, but this will be her first trip to the plate this year.
Coach may have promised her an AB, and Coach might have been running out of time, being this the top of the 7th inning. So, hey, to make good on what could have been a promise that, hey, she deserved or earned an at-bat based on her practice, here she is entering the game with a chance to take a cut. And a swing and a miss. That's a strikeout, so the Patriots are down to their last 3 outs to try to put at least 2 runs on the board to try to extend things. As we head into the bottom of the 7th inning, Lander leads 4-2.
The Swamp Fox Club is a fundraising arm of the Francis Marion University Athletic Department, and it supplies assistance to all 14 intercollegiate sports. On behalf of the student athletes at Francis Marion, I would like to thank all those who are members of the Swamp Fox Club for their support.
Thank you.
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 Thanks again for joining us on the Patriots Sports Network. This is the final game for the Patriots in the Peach Belt Conference. This is the final game for the Patriots of the season, and they're looking to sweep a doubleheader after being victorious in the first game, 9-0. Patriots are down 4-2 with Addie May at the plate. Barbara Cook has done a judicious job most of this game and has done a great job pitching. She's been taking her time out there, but smartly so, very collected. And the first pitch swing is going to be caught on a bucket catch by the second baseman.
Base hit.
Okay, my view was obscured. That ball went down just in front of Balser. Balser, when she turned her back then, she couldn't quite catch it or see it. So Addie May aboard with a base hit. So we'll see what Coach Stacy Valley does here. And we're going to get the pinch runner in Amaya Hush. And Hush has no interest in being quiet on the base paths. The Patriots need her, and they need one more run to succeed. So actually with Hush out there, you're going to still see some conservative running from Hush, because any chance for a run from her needs to be preserved with smart base running.
Hush appearing in her 6th game of the year, a 5'5" freshman out of Fort Mill, South Carolina, and a graduate of Nation Ford High School. She is a general business a general business major here at FMU.
And Taylor Lucian's going to come to the plate and try to move Hush along. Lucian needs to get on base too, with Patriots down by 2.
Yeah, that's the one difference about a 1-run deficit versus a 2-run deficit. The takes away the sacrifice bunt here, as Lucian's going to have to swing away. The Patriots need 2 runs and can't afford to give away an out here. Katie Smith is in the on-deck circle, and then it flips back to the top of the lineup.
Taylor Lucian with a foul in her first swing here, so the count 0-2, or pardon me, 0-1. Outside is the pitch, good eye by Taylor Lucian. With Amaya Hush at first base. Replacing May on May's leadoff hit. That was a blooper that went just over the basket catch attempt of Balser.
This will be pitch number 76 for Cook.
And Cook with the changeup, a very calm, slow pitch. That ball went past Lucian. I think Lucian was kind of fooled on that one. 1-2 is the count. Lucian shows bunt. She will pull it back momentarily and take the swing. She's a swing and a miss, so that's a strikeout for Barbara Cook. And Barbara Cook and her Lander Bearcats are 2 outs away from coming away victorious here in this last softball game of the season for both teams.
Left fielder number 14, Katie Smith.
Katie Smith with a very good game 1. 2 hits on 2 at-bats in game 1. Game 2, a pop out and a ground out here. So Katie Smith looking to do some damage with 1 runner aboard on first base. Pops it up, she just gets a little bit under it. Nice fielding work by the shortstop for Lander and Guerrero. Guerrero charged all the way over to the foul line. She knows that's her responsibility. She has a better view of that catch than does Sykes, the third baseman. Patriots are down to their last out to try to get 2 runs to score.
Really nice play by Guerrero that time. A long run into foul territory down the left field line to make the running catch. And then the presence of mind to turn and get the ball back in and keep Hush from possibly advancing to second.
So it's going to be up to Ashton Patterson to continue the game, or attempt to get the game to continue for the Patriots, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch strike from Barbara Cook. Patterson steps out of the box, collects herself, gets back in. She is ready to go. So is Cook. And that's a pop-up to Cook. And the game is wrapped up. So Patriots put the leadoff runner on in the 7th inning in Addie May. But after that, 3 consecutive outs. And the final out is from Barbara Cook. And Lander victorious here in the second game, 4-2.
Winning pitcher for Lander is Barbara Cook. She improves to 7-7 on the year. The Bearcats finish their year at 16-22 and 3-17 in the Peach Belt Conference. Losing pitcher is Taylor Flory. She drops to 5-9, and the Patriots finish their season 11-21 and 7-13 in the Peach Belt Conference.
Kind of a tough go of it in the second game. I think the Patriots gained a lot of confidence in that game 1 victorious 9-0. They put 6 runs up in the first and never looked back in game 1. Now in game 2, FMU struck first again, but a rough 3rd inning allowed Lander to get 2 runs. FMU answered back, but then 2 more from Lander in the 6th, and that was all she wrote for the Patriots. Really, you got to give a lot of credit to Barbara Cook. Barbara Cook did a lot of damage on putting pressure on the Patriots batters. Patriots really couldn't get anything going when they did in game 1 early and often. So can't say enough about Barbara Cook. And for the Patriots just had a hard time getting the bats going. They didn't really do anything poorly against Lander. Some of those runs were actually, 2 of those runs were unearned for the Bearcats, but Bearcats did what they needed so that they could get their first road victory. As Michael Hawkins mentioned earlier, they were working for their first road Peach Belt victory of the season here in the last game of the year. The Patriots and Lander split the doubleheader, and things are wrapped up here on the season.
Paul, I want to say a few words here as we wrap up the webcast. Number one, thanks to Caleb Reeves and his crew from the Media Center staff for getting our webcasts on this year. Through Blue Frame, they've done a great job. This is our final athletic event of the year, for final contest. And we thank him for that and for his crew and their work that they've done. I want to mention, that this is the final game in the Peach Belt Conference for Francis Marion University. The Patriots were one of the charter members of the Peach Belt back in 1991 when it was formed. Basketball, men's and women's basketball being the first sport that we played. Apropos that we're playing Lander, one of our longtime rivals, back to 1970 when we first had an athletic program that began. So very apropos that we play them in the final Peach Belt game. But over those years in the Peach Belt, the Patriots twice won the Commissioner's Cup, which represents the best overall athletic program in the conference. Patriots won numerous regular season titles, numerous Peach Belt tournament titles, made appearances in the NCAA tournament every year since 1992, representing the Peach Belt Conference. But this is the end. And Francis Marion and UNC Pembroke will be moving to Conference Carolinas next year. We want to thank all the former members of the Peach Belt, the ones that are in the Peach Belt now, former members like USC Spartanburg, now USC Upstate, Kennesaw State, University of North Florida, University of Montevallo, some teams that have already moved on from the Peach Belt. It's been a nice run. I know you had experiences coaching volleyball for many years in the Peach Belt. It's going to be kind of sad, but it's exciting in the same respect that we're looking forward to a new challenge in the Conference Carolinas, a bunch of new rivalries to build with Belmont Abbey, with Barton, with Mount Olive. We'll still probably see a few of the Peach Belt teams in non-conference play, but it's going to be it's going to be different next year. Not looking at that Peach Belt logo.
Yep, it's going to be a different look, and the Patriots will retain one rivalry for sure. That is the I-95 rivalry. In fact, UNC Pembroke moves to Conference Carolinas at the same time as does the Patriots. And yes, I reflect on my time as the volleyball coach and some great heated rivalries, and the Patriots will be looking forward to establishing some of those new rivalries in Conference Carolinas. And for the Patriots, they'll get things started off in August and September. Men's soccer, women's soccer, volleyball, and cross country all will kick off their seasons in the fall, along with golf and some non-conference tennis action, though the tennis would be considered non-conference events. But all the sports will be back in action, and we also can only hope and reflect that the COVID pandemic will be behind us and we will be back to full capacity, we hope, and some great events coming up this fall.
I want to thank the late Marvin Vanover, the founding commissioner of the Peach Belt Conference, current commissioner Dave Brunk, and then the current conference SID Ken Gerlinger for all their help over the years. We're going to miss them, but again, we've got new excitement coming up in Conference Carolinas next year. Paul, I want to thank you for taking us along on the doubleheader today. Again, Patriots won the opener 9-0. Lander comes back to win game number 2, 4-2. So the Patriots and Bearcats split their softball doubleheader. We want to thank you for all of you joining us this year, the different Francis Marion sports that we brought you here on the Patriot Sports Network. Have a great summer. Remember, May 24th, 6 o'clock in the Performing Arts Center, the Swamp Fox Club benefit auction. Go to the website, FMUpatriots.com, for more information on that. Again, you can support Patriot Athletics in that way.
Well, thanks again, folks, for joining us, and we hope you'll catch up with us for the fall 2021 season, the inaugural season for Francis Marion University in Conference Carolinas. You can catch all of those games on the Patriot Sports Network. For now, we're signing off this spring. Thanks again for joining us for FMU softball against Lander. They split the twin bill. Patriots victorious 9-0 in the first game. Patriots fall to Lander in the closer 4-2. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you in the fall.
Let me paint you a picture. All of the graduates, all of the faculty, all of the administration, all of the Board of Trustees is decked out in their regalia. Their black robes, their hats, their gold tassels. It's just a most beautiful picture of a very formal kind of occasion. And here we march into the gymnasium, and the music is playing, and the gym is packed. And as we come in, and as you look up at all those people, you see families, huge families. You see not just mama and daddy and two brothers and a sister, but there's grandmama and granddaddy, there's the aunt and the uncle, there are the cousins, there are the next door neighbors. And you know why all those people are there? Because this is the very first one, the very first graduate. And I can guarantee you that when you go to that graduation, you leave with a tear in your eye, because it's so, so special.
The desire and the love to take care of people is something that you kind of have innate. You kind of just have that thing. But Francis Marion gave me the principles, and they taught me the core values. They taught me leadership qualities, and they've just been foundational and offered a family that I can keep going back to. So even though my personal biological family didn't go to a university, and I didn't really get any experience, wisdom from them for that, I gained a family that could tell me all about college and even the afterlife of college by coming to Francis Marion. And I'm not sure you would have that with, other universities. Throughout the nurse practitioner program, you're already a nurse, and you're a devoted nurse, and you don't want to just quit. And that was another thing I specifically picked this program, was because I was able to look at the curriculum and know that I could work. I even asked a couple of the professors, one being Dr. Hopla, before I started the program, and even she told me, yes, you can still work while you do this. And I did. I worked 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. Sometimes it had to be six days a week to get my 40 hours in, and I still did the nurse practitioner program. It wasn't easy, but nothing worth having is easy. Which the benefit of having classmates and professors that were both working and studying is, we would get worked up and worried about how would we ever do this. And then they would say, well, I can work these 2 12-hour shifts on the weekends and then have the week to study. Or a professor may say, well, you can get creative with your hours here. So you can tell that they've done this, that you can tell that they've gotten creative with their time as well. And then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like such a daunting task, because again, you gain wisdom from their experience.
Choosing a college isn't easy. There are lots of choices to make and so many variables to consider. How do you know when you've found just the right place? The right college will make you feel at home, and that begins with a sense of place. At Francis Marion University, we have a beautiful campus that's safe, well-maintained, and filled with smiling faces. It's the kind of place where you feel you belong, where you wake up in the morning and know that the day ahead will be one you'll savor and enjoy. Now, that doesn't mean life at FMU is easy. There will be challenges. Hard work is expected. We take our academics seriously. You should too. Earning one of our degrees is a real achievement. But some toil, some time invested in a difficult task, that's okay. That's how you grow, how you become someone. FMU is a comprehensive public university, and when it comes to academics, our students have a wide range of choices. We offer more than 75 majors and courses of study. Our professional schools in healthcare, engineering, business, and education are all well known and respected across the state. At the same time, the arts and the sciences remain the core of what we do. They are the perfect foundation for a successful career and a meaningful life. Programs are important, and we'll continue to work to produce new curriculum that meets the needs of our changing world. But we also know that a great education is less about what is taught and more about who is doing the teaching. FMU's faculty is made up of distinguished scholars and renowned researchers. They're experts in their field and expert teachers too. They love the give and take of the classroom and revel in the progress their students make. In FMU's intimate academic environment, where small classes are the norm, you'll get to know a lot of these dedicated men and women. Some you will remember forever. The academic work and its rewards are why you are here. But there will be a time and place for play, too. We have more than 60 different student organizations and field teams in 14 NCAA sports. A robust schedule of extracurriculars is a big part of each semester. You'll find space here for rest and relaxation. You'll make new friends and build relationships that last a lifetime. And then, almost as quickly as it all began, it will be over. You will graduate and move on to a life and career full of promise. You'll leave memories behind. You'll leave FMU, but you'll be welcome back anytime. Home is like that, you know. Welcome home. Welcome to FMU.